If you're on the internet for even 2 minutes and you search the term red pill, more than likely you're gonna come across the negative views of the red pill and how the red pill is pretty much demonized. Even with me saying the word, it feels like a cuss word, as if I'm not allowed to say it. That's how demonized the word and the community has been as a whole, especially within the past 2 to 3 years. Now, I would say back in 2020, the red pill trend was on a upwards trend and a lot of men were discovering it. And, of course, anything that becomes in popularity has its two opposite sides. People that love it and the people that hate it. I was more so on the side that loved it because it actually started opening my eyes as to my previous relationships, why the woman acted a certain way when I did a certain behavior, why I was even attracting particular types of women. And it wasn't until I actually understood the concepts of the red pill and actually started implementing it to where it actually started to change my life for the better. And I actually started having more positive relationships because of it. Now, you might be confused as to how is that possible because the red pill is all negative, right? Well, no, that's the thing. The red pill clips that often get clipped and go popular are usually from a brash and extremist and aggressive sort of view. My red pill reality was always on the lower end of the RP spectrum. So you got the guys who are, oh, I hate women and, women are the most evil people on earth and this, that, always complaining, right? These are the complainers and I hate the way hypergamy is, whatever. And over here are the people who understood and accepted it and started creating solutions around the idea of female nature, which is what the red pill talks about. I was more so on that side. So even in my content back when I was talking a lot more RP, I was never really aggressive with it. Even my clients who come to me, that's one thing they tell me is that they gravitate to me because of my acceptance and almost softness with the red pill. I've never been that aggressive towards it, though I describe myself of having a red pill view or a red pill lens, as I say, when it comes to dating. Now, what really helped me attract and keep my dream girl and honestly just have better relationships overall is to first understand what the red pill meant to me. And I'm a very practical guy, very logical guy. And so for me, it simply meant the understanding of human nature, specifically when it comes to women and dating. That's it. And so once I understood that, I was able to craft my dating strategy around the red pill lens, which then in turn helped me once again. Now, as I got deeper into the science, I realized that the red pill really stems from evolutionary psychology, which means the study of human behavior. And I was actually reading this book called The Evolution of Desire by Dr. David M. Buss. And he's like one of the pioneers of evolutionary psychology in terms of making it popular for sure. And it's crazy that the red pill is really talking about concepts that we've always known. It was just put into words and phrases that made it really polarizing. For example, she's never yours, it's just your turn. That's pretty much like a connotation of women always choose the best men and do what's in the best interest of themselves. But why do they do that? It's because they're trying to protect their future offspring, because women have the burden of pregnancy and labor, and so because of that, they're always inclined to choose and pick the right guy. Now, keep in mind, social media made it worse. The modern technology that we have today as conveniences has made dating worse, and for that reason, women have more choice, more options. So they're going to get a little bit more in tune with their female hardwiring to choose and pick the best man. But the way that I looked at it is that I just have to become a better man. If I really want the woman, my dream girl, and by the way, I describe my dream girl as somebody who I'm physically attracted to, who also brings a lot of value to my life, and we had compatible personalities. That's like the dream girl to me, and I found her. It was a needle in the haystack, but I found that. But yeah, I had to become a better man. And the red pill, unlike the other pill, was really harvest on self-improvement. The idea of increasing one's sexual market value or dating value so that you can attract a woman into your life. Because without the red pill, I probably would have been settled within my looks and how I carry myself and how I present myself. My behavior wouldn't have changed, because this goes into the blue pill conditioning. And this means that the societal programming of what, the TV shows and what the movies and what the music wants us to believe about how dating works, the idealized versions of relationships. And I'm gonna touch on that real quick too, is because there's somebody out there who doesn't even know what the red pill is. They've had this blue pill experience their whole life, but it's worked for them. They got lucky. Their high school relationship translated into a 20-30 year marriage, and they lived happily ever after. People do live happily ever after, guys. That's what we gotta realize too, is that the people who discover the red pill is usually through pain. You don't discover the red pill by accident. You had a negative experience with a woman. Just like me, I had a negative experience with a woman in 2019, which led me to discover the red pill. If that woman was perfect, you know, she was submissive, she was compliant, she provided value to my life, she didn't have a high body count, like if everything was perfect, I would not be talking to you here today. But the fact that everything wasn't perfect, which led me to discover this idea of the red pill and how human nature works. But what I'm telling you is that there's people who never discover it because everything in their life has always been perfect and it always will be. So when they hear these different shorts and reels go off of the angry red pillar and the polarizing statements, of course they're gonna be angry against it. Now, like I said, red pill, unlike the other pills, really prioritizes self-improvement. So making yourself more attractive, getting your status up, getting your money up, increasing one's SMV. Now, when it came to increasing my own SMV, perhaps the biggest thing I did that translated into me being able to attract more women, especially online, was increasing my sex appeal and removing the flaws that I did have. So I actually was a guy where I had horrible acne. I still got the acne scars to prove it. And because of that, it really affected my confidence and I felt like I wasn't the best version of myself. And within 2019, a company by the name of T.H. Hanley came to me, and at the time I was just using random stuff I could get my hands on. And they came to me and was like, hey, we have this new skincare product and we'd like you to try it. I tried it out, and I kid you not, guys, ever since then I've been using T.H. Hanley. Now, if you don't know, T.H. Hanley is the sponsor of this video, and the reason why I'm letting you guys know this is because T.H. Hanley actually sponsors the red pill. Now, I don't want to put words in their mouth, but based on the red pill channels that I've seen, T.H. Hanley has always been proactive in the community in terms of helping guys take that first step towards self-improvement. And the reason why it's so popular is because it's affordable, but also it works. Now, if you are just getting started, I recommend the level 2 system. This is gonna give you everything you need to start a decent skincare routine. So up first, we have the cleanser or the daily face wash. You're gonna use this multiple times a day. I use it in the morning, after I get back from the gym, and then also at night. And then you're gonna follow up with the eye serum, which is in the level 2, or if you get the level 3 system, you can use the eye serum and the super serum to help avoid those fine lines and wrinkles and keep you handsome for a longer period of time. And then each level 2 and 3 system comes with the moisturizers, which is gonna be an essential part of every skincare routine. The AM has SPF in it, which will help protect your skin from the UV rays whenever you go outside, which helps you age a lot more gracefully. And then the PM moisturizer, which you're gonna use before bed. Also, every T system will come with a card that will tell you what to do every morning and night, just in case you forget. And guys, since T is sponsoring this video, they have an amazing deal for you. You're gonna get 40% off your first box alongside with the free gift valued at $20. Plus, once you sign up and become a member, you're gonna get 20% off for life. Now, in terms of that free gift, I highly recommend that you guys get the manicure kit. This comes with toenail clippers, nail clippers, beard trimmer scissors, or just shears you can use for anything, and then tweezers for your eyebrows. All right, so it's a complete system that will help make yourself more handsome. If you're still using random face washes, if you have acne, if your skin isn't as clear or as bright as what it could be, then I'm gonna need you to go down below, click the link down below in the description, get your first box, and you'll thank me later. Now, like I said, I was able to attract my dream girl through increasing my SMV, learning how to use online dating platforms. I actually met her on Hinge, believe it or not. Like, a lot of guys think you can't meet good women on online dating. Brother, I'm not sure what reality you live in, but trust me, you can. You just have to work on yourself and learn the right protocols in order to do that. And if you wanna work with me, I'll leave the link down below, by the way. But yeah, I was able to attract her through online dating. Now, how was I able to keep her? Once again, this is where the red pill sort of helped me out. Because I understood female psychology, I understood what behaviors they gravitated to, I understood women from a psychological, scientific sort of level, that I was able to frame my behavior, at least in the initial phase, into something that signals higher status and not low value. It was little things I was doing before that I didn't realize had a negative effect. For example, pursuing a little too much or too fast, attracting and trying to maintain a dynamic to where she was clearly in the masculine frame. She was leading everything, or you know, being with a woman who makes more money than you. If you would have asked me back in 2018, 2017, if I wouldn't mind being in a relationship with a woman who makes more money than me, I would have been like, of course not. But nowadays, with me understanding the optimal masculine, which should be the man, the guy who leads, the guy who provides, the guy who protects, and also the feminine, and how that creates a balanced relationship. And keep in mind, the feminine is more catering, it's more softer, it's more nurturing, and how this optimal dynamic creates the optimal relationship. And that does not include the woman making more money than me. She can make her money. I don't always lean towards like the housewife provider sort of thing. I do believe a woman should have some sense of purpose. You know, she can't make more money than me because that throws off now the masculine and feminine dynamic. When a woman makes more money than you, she's more likely to lead the relationship and make financial decisions, where you live, what car you're driving, what daycare you're sending the kids to. Like, money really controls everything when you think about it. And so the guy or the man who's in the leadership position, who provides, protects, should be the breadwinner. And this is really all how it works from a biological level. And all this was learned through the red pill. All this was learned through understanding women from a deep psychological level. Women want a man 1 to 2 points above their perceived sexual market value. The average blue pill guy doesn't understand this whatsoever. He's confused as to why just being himself isn't attracting his dream girl. He's confused as to why, being emotionally vulnerable and, showing interest and bringing flowers to the first date makes her repelled towards him, and she doesn't even know why. The woman doesn't even understand herself. He's been doing everything that society told him was right to do, but for some reason it's not translating into results. This is where guys discover the red pill. Now I'll tell you guys one more thing, and this comes from the front end attraction, right? Because now that I think about it, I operate with a red pill lens in every part of the relationship process, from the attraction to the first date to the second date, third date, to long-term dynamics. Like, everything from a red pill lens is embedded in me to the point where I don't even consciously think about it anymore because it's within my subconscious. I've realized too, when it comes to my boundaries and filters for letting women in my life, I am now able to spot red flags that I didn't see before. What's crazy is that my first girlfriend, she actually had a boyfriend already. And so I didn't see that as an issue, and she left her boyfriend for me. But at the time, I wasn't able to see how that was a red flag. Now, not only that, but it's so many other red flags that I'm able to now see, more so in terms of their personality, like how the woman is at her core, that I can immediately spot out to see if this woman would be wifey potential, as some guys call it, or just worth keeping in my life whatsoever. The guy who doesn't understand the red pill, doesn't understand female nature, he's not going to be able to make that discernment between, what's good and what's bad, what's wifey and what's not compatible, because he's always just chasing the idealized and romanticized sort of idea of that woman, and that leads to chaos over time because you let all those red flags and yellow flags sort of skip past you. But now I pay very close attention to them. Even when it comes to marriage, I'm not gonna lie, the red pill turning me off from marriage completely. I was the type of guy to where, I wanted a family, and I'm not saying that I don't want a family now, but I wanted the marriage, the wedding, all this stuff, until I started reading and understanding what actually is marriage. Started looking at marriage statistics, started understanding from women themselves how they view marriage. And I came to realize that women want weddings and women want rings. Women don't even know what a marriage really instills or what it actually means, how it's a government contract. They don't view that. All they see is they get a ring, they get a wedding, they get to change their name, and they live happily ever after. Once again, the woman doesn't even know herself. She doesn't account for her own emotions and how that will change. She's not understanding and realizing how she's almost a victim to her emotions. Meaning that she wakes up feeling a certain way this day compared to this day, that can literally change her behaviors and actions because her emotions control her. Versus men, our emotions do control us too because we are human, but not in such a way in which it controls women. Even when it comes to flaking, a woman on Tuesday wanted to go out with you. She really did. She really likes you. She finds you attractive, everything. But Thursday, she just wasn't feeling it no more. Somewhere in her brain, she doesn't even know, but it told her that it just doesn't want to be out with you. Now, guys, we would rationalize this. We would try to make the date work out, or we would tell ourselves, whatever, I'll still see her. I'll make time for her. I want to be respectful. A woman, once again, operates in the best interest of herself and her emotions. And because of that, boom, changes her mind. Sorry, I can't make it. My dog died. Sorry, I can't make it. I got plans with friends. A woman could love you year 1, but despise you year 5. And I'm aware of that. It's made me completely aware of that. I'm not angry about it whatsoever. I'm accepting of it. But that means I'm going to protect myself as a man. And so before the RP lens and before understanding that, I would have gotten married probably within a year of knowing a woman. Now, what I would say is that this does not correlate to you if your woman makes more money than you, or if you are making the same amount of money. If it's more beneficial for you to get married and you know that you're not gonna lose anything in the process, get married. If you're an average guy, get married, sure. If you're religious, get married. But I'm talking about for my guys who date down socioeconomically. You're a guy making 180, 200K a year, your woman's making 40, 50K a year. You're a guy making $500,000 a year, your woman's making $70,000 per year. Your net worth is 5 million, her net worth is negative 5K. You know, things like that. That's where you have to be more cautious about getting married, because now you're kind of giving up your leverage in a sense, to a point where if she wakes up one day and he says, oh, I don't like this guy anymore, or she cheats on you, hypergamy, you don't satisfy it, she ends up monkey branching, another red pill term, to another guy with higher status, higher S&B, more confidence, whatever it may be, and boom, you gotta pay up that money, that 50%, or give half or whatever, right? That's not a place I wanna be in. And I've heard horror stories, and I rarely have heard good ones, and that's another way in which the red pill has sort of changed my mind and thought process towards certain things. But like I said, all in all, it's been more positive than anything. It's helped increase my S&B, which helped me attract my dream girl, which helped me maintain and retain an optimal relationship dynamic, which helped me find somebody who provides value to my life, who listens, who is an asset. And if I wouldn't have discovered the red pill, not only would I not have the answers, but I likely would have been with somebody completely different. And also don't forget to check out T-Chanley, the best and easiest to use skincare routine and system on the market. Link will be down below, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. Peace.